I want to first get you to give your insights as to whether this reimbursement, Texas bearing the brunt of what many Americans saw creep into their communities, drug and weapons and sex trafficking, and what Texas called an invasion of illegal immigrants. Do you think the federal government will pay them back?
Well, it's hard to say. I think it's a good idea to ask for the money back because, frankly, the federal government did not meet its constitutional responsibility. The Constitution says clearly in Article 4, Section 4, that the federal government will protect states from invasion. And in this case, we clearly had an invasion. Texas is obviously at the epicenter, was at the epicenter of that invasion. And because the federal government decided not to do anything but just open the borders, Texas had to step in. And they were, Governor Abbott was extremely responsible in trying to do many things. He put in place Operation Lone Star, putting all sorts of obstructions, obstacles, physical obstacles along the border with Mexico to try to impede the entry, the illegal entry of literally millions of migrants. He detained illegal immigrants who had entered Texas for trespassing of private property. And he also spent a lot of money going after Trinidad. He had a specialized unit going after that violent Venezuelan terrorist group in Texas. So they spent a lot of money that they shouldn't have because the federal government didn't do their part. So I think it's a valid claim. Are they going to get their money back? It's Washington. You know, it's hard to say, but they definitely have a valid claim.
Yeah, I would think that because of the relationship that Governor Abbott has with President Trump, there could be some compromise there. But clearly it's costed billions of dollars for multiple states to house, clothe, give food to, give health care to immigrants who've come here illegally, hoping for asylum. But Democrats often point to the cost of deportations. Senators Hirono and Warren are writing that the Department of Defense's support of Homeland Security has been expensive for American taxpayers. Will we learn of the costs for all of these deportation efforts by President Trump?
No, absolutely. And first of all, to Senator Hirono and Warren, now they're concerned about the expense of removing all these people. Then why did they support President Biden's policies that are allowed all millions of people in to begin with, right? It is expensive, but right now what the Trump administration is asking and what's being considered in the reconciliation package is about $175 billion to deal with this. And that means extending the wall system, building more walls along the southern border, hiring more border patrol, but also expanding detention capacity within the United States, hiring more ICE officers is going to be costly to go after these people, to remove them. We need more immigration judges. But this is what happens when you open the border to anyone. And we had never seen this in the history of our country. So many people come in that 4-year period.
Right.
And as you say, there's cities and communities that don't have the resources to assimilate all these people. So it's going to be costly, but we have to do it because if not, it's going to get worse.
Let me ask you one more question. We're almost out of time. But these body cameras that Border Patrol officers have been wearing, now they're going to not wear body cameras because it was exposed online on Reddit how to detect border agents using your phone, exactly where those border agents are. So human rights groups, they're going to obviously be complaining. They want to see what the interactions are between agents and these immigrants. But what would you say is the legal argument here, besides the safety of these agents?
Well, the basic argument is that there's a state interest, right, in ensuring that people don't come here illegally. And if they're using those cameras to identify what Border Patrol are, then they certainly should not be using them. So that's the first interest, ensuring that people don't enter illegally. And so if somehow they're using that technology to identify where Border Patrol are, then they definitely should not wear those cameras. That is going to be the primary priority of the administration, to ensure that we achieve operational control of the border and that we stop the illegal entry of people and drugs into the country. Right. So we have to take every single measure, even if it's extraordinary.
Alfonso Aguilar, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.